Welcome, Facebook and Insta. We are live. Coffee and questions on this beautiful Friday morning. Hello, Joe. Welcome. All right. I need my spy belt. I need a better situation than this spy belt attached to the computer. Definitely. Who else have we got? Hi, Kimberly Wildholm. How you going? Hey, Jojo. All right. Hey, Brady. How you going? Has everyone got a coffee? Has everyone got a coffee for coffee and questions? Good morning, Steph on Facebook. Steph, have you got a coffee? Are you joining me for a coffee this morning? Good morning, Elaine. Oh, how's everyone going? We don't get a long weekend this weekend, unfortunately, but that's okay. Happy Anzac Day for tomorrow, everyone. I think dawn service will be a little bit different this year, hey? Good work, Steph. Hey, Steph, can you take a photo of you drinking your coffee while you're watching Coffee and Questions? That's the best. Yeah? Good morning, Art. Hey, Art, I've got some good news for you. I will tell you shortly. Good morning, Liam. Good morning, Melanie. Liam, have you got a coffee this morning, buddy? Good morning, everyone. More dietitians joining. I didn't scare you off last week. Damn it. Good morning. Although, Art, what's the time there? It's 8 here in the morning. It'll be evening there, your time, right? So you're probably not drinking a coffee with me. You're probably drinking like a tea or a Milo or something before bed. All right, has anybody got any good plans for the weekend? Who am I kidding? No? Good times, good times. 3 p.m. in Washington, D.C. currently, so you could be drinking a coffee. I'm definitely a coffee before lunchtime type person, so I wouldn't be drinking a coffee if I wanted to sleep. So I'd said it's coffee all day. Delicious. I can't sleep if I have coffee after lunchtime, or even if I have 2 coffees in a day, I can't sleep properly. So sleep's not been great lately. Trying to get some things done. Drinking 2 coffees, it's not good. Good morning, Elaine. All right, there's a bunch of people on here now. I think Penny might be on Facebook too. We've got Penny and Steph on Facebook. Bunch of peeps on Insta. Has anybody got any questions for me? Fire them away. I've got one question from Carmel, and we'll wait for her to come on, I think, to answer it. And then otherwise, there's a whole bunch of spam questions again this week, unfortunately. And yeah, bunch of spam questions. Somebody wants to know how many hours I sleep for at night, but I think that's spam. So unless you're here and you ask me that, I'm probably not going to answer that question either. I'm pretty sure that's just spam. The spammers went away for a few weeks, but they've come back. Hello, Carmel. All right, Carmel's here. I can answer your question, Carmel. Has everyone got a coffee? Carmel, have you got a coffee? Art, have you got a coffee to take a photo drinking your coffee while you're watching live? It's the coolest thing ever, seeing people drink coffee all around the world while watching this. It's crazy, 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 crazy. All right, and I'm sure Catherine will be here eventually, and she didn't ask me any questions this week, so it's a good week again. And Joe, I don't think you'll be asking me any protein questions today, I don't think. I think I answered them all yesterday for you, so we should be good. Good morning, Leslie. Catherine's here. Welcome, Catherine. Catherine, I was just saying that you haven't asked me any questions this week, so yes, I'm off the hook. All right. Well, I've got a couple of cool things to share with you before we get into it. Good morning, Live to Train. Carmel says she's eating, oh, how do you say that? Is it feijoa? Feijoa? I probably like screwed that up, but I don't do caffeine or coffee. Okay, we can change that, Carmel. No, we can't. Catherine said, I've been busy with uni, letting the team down. It's okay, Catherine. Take a load off. It's all good. If you've got any questions, fire them my way. Did I say it right? Yes. Okay, that's good. All right. Good morning, Keely. All right. So yeah, a couple of cool things to tell you guys that are on live. Good morning, Nicole. I'm going to go live every day next week just because I had so much fun doing it a week or two ago. But I've just finished doing a Stay Healthy During Isolation course. It's just basically a whole heap of information to try and help you right now. So running through some of the foundations of healthy eating and how to really support your immune system at the moment. And it includes a few extra bonus things like some information on exercise and some information on sleep. So it's a big, massive course. It's 8 modules and each module drops in each week. So you can kind of watch one a week, learn some information, and then go away and implement that practical side. And then it's just something to focus on at the moment. I find that people are stressed to the eyeballs about, like they're not doing their normal exercise routine, they're not eating properly, they've lost routine, they've lost structure. There's like limited access to things like flour and frozen berries and things like that. So it's just to try and help you navigate all of that and give you something to focus on and something to make this time sort of useful as well. So it's not wasted. There's no point kind of just being at home feeling sorry for yourself. Like everyone's riding the storm out differently. But like focus on the positive, focus on the things you can do and you can control. And one of those things is you can do some upskilling in nutrition. Like now's the perfect time to put some of those foundations in place, because when it gets to race season, there's limited time, or you just don't have as much capacity and you're busy again. So like use this downtime wisely. Like instead of just like binge watching Netflix and finishing Netflix, try and do something a bit more useful with your time. And you get to see me all the time. So like win-win. No, that's not a win-win. What did Catherine say? Catherine wants to know, is coconut oil and coconut water really all good for you as people think? A good one. And also, yay for live every day next week. I had fun doing it the other week too. Yeah, it was so much fun. I'm going to do it at 10:30. Every day except for coffee and questions, which we'll do at 8 a.m. So I know that 10:30 is a really weird time, but it's kind of the best time of day for me. So I don't really have any options. So we're going to do 10:30 and I'll run you through the schedule now. Good morning, Carly. Live to Train said, thanks for keeping us healthy, you dead set legend. I feel like it's my duty, right? I'm a dietitian. Like the best way I know how to help you right now is through nutrition. And nutrition is key right now as well. Like I think people are starting to focus on nutrition a bit more, and people are at home more, so they're cooking more and they're looking for recipes. So like, why not use this time and implement some of the foundations that I would teach you in private practice anyway? You just get to do it yourself at home, where you're safer. So for everyone that's on the Dietitian Approved Crew email list, I might get Leslie to post the link to join that actually in the Facebook feed. Leslie, are you listening? Leslie, can you post the link for people to join the newsletter list for me, if you're listening? I sent out a discount code for it during the week. So it's basically a course for $297. And like, I don't want cost to be a barrier right now for anybody. Like I would rather give you this course for like peanuts than like, it's not about making money. It's about helping you. So it's taken me ages to do. So I don't want it to be free. One, because it's taken me a million years. Two, because if it was free, you're not going to do it. Like you need to have some sort of investment in it. Otherwise you're just going to purchase something for free and that's going to sit there and you're not going to do it. So you have to have some sort of monetary buy-in to be able to encourage you to actually go through the modules. So if you're in the newsletter list, I'll send the link. I'll get Leslie to put the link in, and then I'll send another email out with a discount code to get $200 off. So it's a $300 course for $97, like absolute bargain, because it's not like cost. I don't want cost to be a barrier. Okay, I want to help you get healthy, stay healthy, and have something to focus on so we're not all losing our nut at home. But I need you to have some sort of commitment into it as well. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. We know that things like for free don't get done. Like even people that pay for courses don't do them. So you need to have some sort of commitment to do that. Good morning, Feed Your Future. And Sarah Therese. All right, and Steph said, adding to the coconut oil question, we always argue in our house which oil is best to cook with. What's your thought? Okay, good question. So let's do the coconut question first, and then I can answer Carmel's question while she's eating her feijoa porridge, and I continue to drink my coffee while it's warm. So good. Who else is having a coffee? Hands up. Good morning, Kimberly. Okay, so coconut oil. So what do you want to know about coconut oil? So coconut oil is a really high saturated fat source oil. Okay, so there's 3 different types of fat. So actually there's more, but 3 are the main ones. So we've got monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, and saturated fats. Now our saturated fats come from all of the animal sources. So things like meat fat, like that you get in like the flesh of your steak, like your marbling. It's also like the rind of fat that's around your steak. And then things like chicken skin, full cream milk's got more of the saturated fat than a skim because the fat content's different. And then we obviously get saturated fat from junk food, so things like chocolate, right? Okay, so saturated fat is a source that we don't want to eat any more of. We don't need to add saturated fat to our diet because we get enough from things like animal sources and dairy. So the fats that we need to focus on getting are our monounsaturated fats, and they come from things like avocado, olive oil, nuts and seeds, and that helps to balance out your lipid profile in your bloods. Like it helps to increase your HDL, which is the good protective fat, whereas saturated fat can increase your LDL, which is the bad one. So we get enough polyunsaturated fats, which is the other kind. We get a lot of those from processed foods. So we get them from things like bread and biscuits and crackers. Polyunsaturated fats are used by the food industry because they're cheap, right? So we also get enough of those generally, and then we use, like you get a balance of those in other nuts and seeds, and then depending on what oils you use in the kitchen, like sunflower, safflower oil, they're more sort of polyunsaturated fat blends as well. So we don't need to focus. I don't feel we need to focus on putting saturated fat or polyunsaturated fats into our diet because we're naturally going to get those if we eat a variety of foods. The things we need to focus on are the monounsaturated. So putting more avocado, olive oil, nuts and seeds into your diet to get that balance of fats happening. Now, coconut oil is a very high source of saturated fat. Okay, so it's not an oil that I would recommend cooking with for that reason, because it is a high saturated fat source. The reason that people cook with it is because it's quite stable at high temperature because it is a saturated fat. So saturated fat has a double bond in the middle of it that keeps it strong and holds it together, whereas the other bonds of the other fats are a little bit less stable and they can break down more easily. So coconut oil is good to cook with in the sense of stability, but it is a high source of saturated fat. Good morning, Jules. So unless you're wanting to add saturated fat to your diet, then I'd probably cook with like a nice extra virgin olive oil, which is still stable at high temperatures. So something like Cobram Estate. So back in the day, we thought that the only way to check for stability with cooking was smoke point. And so high smoke point fats were more stable. So the smoke point's where they start to break down and smoke when you cook with them. But we now know that there's way more factors to cooking stability than just smoke point. So they've tested copper mostate heaps, hey Jules, and they've tested all the other factors for stability and found that it is still stable at high temperatures, so it's okay to cook with. So that's the oil that I use at home to cook with, and I really like the flavour infused ones, like the garlic and onion infused ones. They've got a chili infused one, a lemon and a herb. The lemon one's really good with fish or chicken, but we tend to just go through the garlic one heaps. It's delicious, and it's low FODMAP too if you have issues with onion and garlic. So that kind of answers your coconut oil question. In terms of some, what's the right word? Like in terms of some ammo to go back to Steph. I don't know. You could just use the saturated fat argument, I guess, and then try and get him onto something like an extra virgin olive oil, which is still safe to cook with. Good morning, the hungry nutritionist. Oh no, I just flipped you guys. Whoops, hold on. Turn you back around. Okay, and then coconut water, Catherine. So coconut water is, depending on the brand, but it's basically just the water that comes out of the center of the coconut. It's really high in potassium, but it's also very high in carbohydrates. So it's a similar sort of carbohydrate profile to sports drink. It's got about 6% carbohydrate in it. Some of them are a bit less and some of them are a bit more, but it is, yeah, it's similar to drinking a sports drink. So I wouldn't drink it like it's water and thinking that it's, you know, calorie free and it's a health elixir. It is definitely just like about the same amount of sugar as a sports drink. So I would use it as a sports drink type product. Does that make sense, Catherine? A lot of the coconut oil marketing and research has come from coconut oil companies as well. So you just have to be careful where they're sprouting their claims from. So actually one of the things I go through in the course is how to read a food label and what health claims mean, so that you can just navigate all that marketing BS, because like anyone that hasn't had any education in food labels, you just kind of go on whatever like sparkly, shiny things are busting out at you. Like if something says premium, it must be better, right? Or if something says it's light, it must be lower in fat, but that's not necessarily the case. So one of the modules that I do in the course is label reading to help you cut through all that rubbish, so that you can actually be a bit more of a detective when you go shopping and you look at the labels and you start to sort of decipher what things mean. And then you realize that a whole heap of it is just marketing BS, and often what looks like the best product or is the most expensive one is often like not the best. Catherine said, yep, interesting. I've had a few friends use coconut water for post-workout protein smoothies. Yeah, you could do it that way. You need some protein in it. They often use coconut water when they make acai bowls. So they mix the acai pouch frozen thing with coconut water and then add other stuff to it. So it's very high carb little bowl, acai bowls. So using them after a workout's probably a good spot to have them, as long as they've got enough protein in them. So you can usually get protein powders added to them. The only thing that I'd just be mindful of in terms of athletes is that a lot of those acai bowl smoothie bar places use products that aren't tested. So they're not third-party batch tested by somebody. And so there is a risk of the product being potentially contaminated with wider prohibited substances. And so if you're an elite athlete getting drug tested, I probably would avoid things like smoothie bars and acai bowls and things unless you're making them yourself at home. Good morning, Mark Foster. So a lot of you on here are age group athletes, and they did drug test age groupers at Mooloolaba a few years ago. So you are not in the clear either. I don't think they'll be drug testing you currently, but there's too many other things going on. But there is a chance that drug testing will happen again in the age group population, just because there's, I don't know, there's pretty speedy age groupers, right? I need to drink some coffee. So just in terms of supplements, just I guess make sure you're taking safe supplements and you know where your products are coming from and they've been tested by something like Informed Sport or HASTA. That's an independent company that batch tests the product and screens it for wider prohibited substances. Now, it's not a 100% guarantee, because the wider list changes every year as well. But it's just something to be mindful of. So Kira Siddell was one of the triathletes that got sanctioned for 4 years. She was off 4 by, I can't remember if it was a smoothie or a acai bowl or something, but it was from a smoothie bar place. She had a protein powder from there that was contaminated with something, and then had 4 years out of the sport. She's only returning in the last sort of 12 months. So it's a real risk. Liam, if you're listening, I will have drummed this into you. But yeah, just something to be mindful with that. I don't know how we got onto that, but anyway. Catherine said, like they use it as the base with fruit and protein powder, that would be a huge carb load. Yeah. So you get, well, depending on how big they are, the coconut water little can things are usually only 300 mils. So if they're 6%, just using my trusty scientific calculator from school, 6% at what, they're like 330 mils. That's 20 grams of carbs in one of those little things potentially. So just have a look at the label, and my course teaches you how to read labels and figure that stuff out. So definitely do it. I don't think Leslie's listening because she hasn't posted a link to the newsletter list, but that's okay. Okay, good morning, Tara Diversi. What are you doing here? Okay. Next question, Carmel. So Carmel wants to know if you can make jam with fructose powder. Now, Carmel, this is probably the craziest question I've ever been asked on Coffee and Questions, and I don't really know the answer. I've never made jam, and I have no intention of making jam. But like because I know you, I know what you're trying to do. And so I think it's worth experimenting and trying. Fructose is going to be heaps sweeter than normal sugar. So you probably need to use less, but then sugar's the like preservative in jam. So I'm not 100% sure how it would work. I would like, for what you're trying to do with it, I would probably just use normal table sugar, which is sucrose, because that is, it is a blend of glucose and fructose. And so you're getting that glucose to fructose ratio anyway, which would be fine. So I don't know, you could definitely experiment with making jam with fructose and let me know how you go. You've certainly got more time on your hands at the moment to do that sort of thing. And the thing that I would be cautious of is that it would be crazy sweet if you just use fructose, and it may not keep for as long. So you might need to keep it in the fridge or the freezer even, like freeze it up in little ice cube trays in the freezer so that it keeps for longer. But it's worth keeping some in the fridge and seeing how long it lasts for before it starts to get like a bit of a fairy film on it or something. But I think there's probably easier ways for you to get fructose, Carmel, than making jam with fructose powder, unless you're really bored and you want to do it. But I'd probably just use sucrose, which is glucose and fructose mix anyway, and that's just normal sugar, and that should still work. And then maybe you could experiment with increasing the fructose load of that over time and do a few batches. Depends on how much you want to make. Are you making it because you've got heaps of feijoas on your tree and you're going to make feijoa jam? She'll get back to me eventually. Yeah. Carmel said, okay, thanks. Okay. Yeah, definitely not my area of expertise, jam making, Carmel, but just like thinking about the science behind the sugars, I'd probably just use normal sucrose and figure out fructose in an easier way. Because yeah, that sounds complicated, and I don't know, it could be a cool experiment to do in isolation, that's for sure. But you could also have a whole heap of disgusting jam on your hands, and you're not a wasteful person, so you're going to have to eat it. Good morning, running guy Ryan. How are you? I haven't talked to you for ages. Are you still running? Ryan runs around Brisbane in like wears Wally suits all the time. Hence his name, Running Guy Ryan. All right, so that answers your coconut question. Then answers your fructose making jam. Well, not really answers your question, but I don't know. Let me know how you go, Carmel. That'd be really interesting. Let me know how you go. She said, yes, lots of feijoas. And then now Catherine switched over to Facebook. Catherine, you're all over the shop. Is that so you can type random questions into me better? Okay, so that was the only real questions I have. So if the person on here wants to know how much sleep I had is not on here, then I'm not going to answer that. I assume that was a spam question. So that was all the real questions I had. So I'm going to run you through what we're going to do next week then. Yes, it's going to be so fun. So, all right, we're just going to do a whole week of like stay healthy in isolation. Every day we're going to jump on live, and we're going to, 10:30 is a bit too late for me for a coffee. I will have already had my coffee by then. But I'll have some water with you, and not sparkling water this time. And we're just going to do heaps of fun things. So I'll run you through the program. Running guy Ryan said, hi, yes, still running. I'll be 40 on Tuesday and we'll be running 40 Ks. Well done, Ryan. That sounds amazing. Make sure you have some carbohydrate before, during, and after if you're running that far, just to protect your immune system in the current climate, which is one of the things we talk about in the course. Okay, so next week's program. Put 10:30 in your diary now. Take a break if you're working. Go and have a like a morning tea break and have some fun with me so that we can all stay sane during ISO. Catherine said, sorry, on my laptop now. We all know you need lots of sleep. Who needs to ask that? Yeah. If you've been a long-time watcher of Coffee and Questions, you know that I am a big advocate of sleep, which is why one of the modules in the Stay Healthy course is about sleep. There's so much evidence behind its benefit, and it's not about like the bravado of, oh yeah, I can survive on 5 or 6 hours sleep. Like that era is dead. Like the more the better. Well, not the more the better. There is definitely a too much sleep, but there's so many benefits of sleep. So it's not something that you should be proud of getting less sleep, because it's not about that. Okay, so next week on Monday, 10:30, we're going to go through my top tips for staying healthy during isolation. So we're going to cover off some of the things in the course, plus a few extra things that aren't in the course as well, which is pretty exciting. So it's kind of linking on from my COVID-19 survival list a few weeks ago, but just exploring a bit more deeply into the nutrition side of stuff. Good morning, Shauna Goodgold. All these Americans online, so cool. All right, so that's at 10:30 on Monday. Top tips for staying healthy during isolation, which is a few bits of information around the course, but also some stuff that's not in the course as well. So definitely join me for that at 10:30. I'm going to allow an hour, Catherine, but we may be done in half an hour. We'll see how we go. It depends how much banter there is going online and how many people are online. I miss you too, Shauna. Shauna. All right, so hang on, Catherine, I'll answer your question in a second. All right, so that's Monday, 10:30. Top tips for staying healthy right now. And yes, I'm a dietitian, and you know, the goal is to really help you with that, but I'm not like, you can't do this and you can't do that. I'm all about balance, right? And I understand people's lives are a little bit turned on their head at the moment. So it's not like I'm also a sports dietitian, right? So apologies to all the other dietitians online, but I'm not sort of a straighty 180 dietitian. I like to push the boundaries. I know like what real life is like. So yesterday, Emma's not on here, I don't think, but we talked about managing alcohol intake, and you know, we talked about what night she was going to drink. Okay, so I'm not saying don't drink ever. We talked about trying to manage that so that it was consistent rather than all or none. Okay, so that's the type of dietitian I am, right? I understand real life. I'm not like I eat healthy 100% of the time and I'm forcing you to do that as well. We can talk about balance. Perfect study break at 10:30. Exactly. All right, so that's Monday, 10:30. Come and join me for a bit of banter. My coffee will have kicked in by then, like definitely, so that'll be fun. All right, and then Tuesday, Art, are you listening? Art said, all right, 10:30 Oz, I should be off work by then. Okay, Art, are you listening? On Tuesday at 10:30, Art, we're going to cook. We're going to make my savoury muffins. Okay, so it's a free recipe. You could all get the ingredients over the weekend, not tomorrow, the shops are closed, but you could all get the ingredients over the weekend or Monday and cook them with me on Tuesday at 10:30. So I'll pop the link in this feed. Maybe Leslie, if you're listening, pop the link in for the free recipes to get the recipe for savoury muffins, and then we're going to cook them on Tuesday. So there you go, Art. That's for you. Art asked me to cook at 10 o'clock in the morning a few weeks ago, and I said, I'll think about it. So I told you I thought about it. You planted the seed, and we're going to do it. So Art said, on my calendar now. So good. So Art's a dietitian in Washington, D.C., which is just crazy that he's on here watching this. So that is what we're going to do on Tuesday at 10:30. Okay. Then Wednesday at 10:30, we're going to talk about the power of structure and routine. Okay, like all of you organized people are just going to like totally nerd out on it. And then the rest of you, it's just some strategies to help you with structure and routine. And things that we've all kind of lost at the moment is routine and structure. So it's just trying to put a few things in place, some anchors to help you with that. Because as humans, we thrive on rhythm and routine, and we've kind of lost it. So like as an example, you might be working from home, and so your workspace is like your kitchen table or a desk set up in your bedroom. So it's just having some structure around that, so you're not feeling like work is just evolved into home and it's this one big messy thing. So we're going to do that on Wednesday at 10:30, talk about some organization, structure, rhythm, routine to help you, and just, yeah, have some structure to your week so that it is still a normal week, and that will help you get through this phase as well. Okay, and then Thursday, I need to play with what I'm calling this, but Thursday is, this is my draft version, is how to eat chocolate with a dietitian. All right, so I'm going to leave that at that. But that's Thursday at 10:30. We're going to talk about how to eat chocolate with a dietitian. And then Friday, normal 8 a.m. coffee and questions. So that's going to round out the week. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I really enjoyed doing the lives a couple of weeks ago with you all. So I hope that you're excited to do that as well, and you'll get something out of it. And we can all kind of help each other through this phase. So that's what next week's going to look like. I'll post that up over the next few days as well, just so that you can put it in your diary, keep a copy of it, keep a copy, not a coffee. And we're going to go through that. So 10:30, hopefully that's an okay time for everyone. It is kind of a bit of a morning tea break, a bit of a step away from the desk. All right, let me answer these questions now. So Catherine said, I have a random question. How many eggs is too many for a 6-year-old? He ate 3 poached eggs for breakfast and wanted more today. Look, he's a growing boy. Leave him be, Catherine. He's definitely not a heart disease risk. So the Heart Foundation guidelines are 6 eggs a week for people at heart disease risk. Don't think Xander's heart disease risk, so go for broke. As long as it's not replacing a mix of other protein sources and he's not just eating eggs all the time, like he still has got variety in his diet. If he wants more, that's fine. That kid's growing. Leave him eat. Don't try and restrict things at his age. Try and just let him make the choice and the decision, and then he'll grow up with a healthier relationship with food. All right. Oh, Andre said savoury muffins. Yes. So definitely check out the recipe, get the ingredients before Tuesday, and we can all cook them together. I don't know if you saw my stories during the week, but I made a batch, I can't remember what day, and the dogs ate them all. So I was not happy, Jan. They definitely didn't get dinner that night, and I know it was only one of them and not both of them, but they both got punished, unfortunately, with no dinner. Actually, Coda had a little bit of dinner, but we weren't sure if he ate any or not, so he didn't get much dinner. So I'm really looking forward to actually making some and eating them this time rather than having the dogs eat them. All right, so Leslie's posted the link on Facebook to get the free recipes, but I'll put it in this Instagram TV later for you guys. Or you can just jump onto the website, my.dietitianapproved.com.au/recipes, and you'll be able to get it there. Catherine said you're really just making savoury muffins because the dogs ate your last batch. Yeah, pretty much. No, I was planning on making them for art. It was what I kind of decided I was going to make. And it just so happened that they all got eaten. So I'm just going to make another batch. But I would happily make a batch every week. They're so good. And they tick off 1 vegetable serve per muffin. So really good way to get lots of vitamins and minerals into your life at the moment and have a healthy snack. Rather than just eating like chips and chocolate and popcorn at the moment. Catherine said, can you do how to drink wine with a dietitian or how to make wine healthy? So one of the modules in the Stay Healthy During Isolation course, Catherine, is on alcohol. And I run you through just some information about alcohol and how it works and the benefits and the negatives. So that may be worth listening to. And it is quite a balanced like module on alcohol. So worth looking into doing that if you want to talk about alcohol. But yeah, I can't drink with you currently. So, and definitely not at 10:30 in the morning. All right, I think I got through those last questions. Did I miss any? Now, not for you guys, but if anybody's watching the replay, I can only see what happens at this time. A few people submitted questions afterwards last time because you can still put questions in on the feed, and I don't see them, so I can't kind of answer them for you. And then I also don't get notified that you've put something on there either. So I'm sorry, I missed a couple of questions last week when I looked back at it a few days later. But yeah, I can only answer your questions if you're on here live, and that's probably not for you guys that are here listening. But for those of you watching the replay, if you want questions answered, you need to jump on now. 8 a.m. Fridays. Okay, so Henri wants 3 top dietary tips for leaning out during this circuit breaker, pretty please. As in, do you mean leaning up? Henri, quickly type in what you mean. Leaning up, like as in like losing body fat? Okay, what's happening on Insta? I haven't looked at you guys for a while. Not too much. Art saying that cooking's in his calendar. All right. Type faster, Henri. Go, 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 go. Hey, Catherine, somebody laughed at your comment. Oh, Henri laughed at your comment about drinking wine with a dietitian. She appreciates it. All right, Henri said yes. Okay, so Henri, now is not the time to crash diet or focus on weight loss. Okay, now is the time to focus on maintenance and not doing anything too crazy, because we know that calorie deficit increases your risk of getting sick. Okay, so I wouldn't be doing anything too crazy at the moment. It's just really trying to focus on coming out of this the same. Okay, so a lot of my clients, I've talked to them around their goals around this phase is just about trying to aim to maintain. We're not trying to lose weight. We're not trying to go on a crash diet. We really just want to protect our immune system, and a calorie deficit is going to put you at risk, increased risk of illness. Catherine, let me finish talking to Henri. Hold on. Hilarious. Yeah, so I'm not going to give you any tips for how to do that because I don't think that's the right focus for right now. So that is one of the big reasons why I wrote this course, the Stay Healthy During Isolation course, is that everyone's so worried about gaining weight and losing all their fitness and trying to do like crazy things, when really we just need to be focusing on staying healthy, not putting too much pressure on ourselves, trying to aim to maintain through this so that we come out the other side and we're still okay. We haven't like gained 10 kilos, but we haven't like lost all our muscle mass or gone on some crazy crash diet either. So through the course, let me run you through the modules off the top of my head. So there's 8. We go through some of the foundations of healthy eating, and you can have a look on, I'll link in here the page to have a look at what's in there. So some of the foundations of healthy eating, which are really important to put in place. And it's something that I go through with all my clients when I first start talking to them. So like now more than ever is the perfect time to start doing some of that upskilling, because then you don't have to worry about doing it when we get back to training and racing and exercising like we were before. Then we go through how to read a label like a pro, which I think is so key at the moment, particularly because we're eating a lot of products that are coming out of a packet more. Like sales of that stuff has gone up, whereas fresh stuff's gone down, and should be flipped, but that's a topic of conversation for another day. What's number 3? Oh, healthy snacking. We're going to go through like how to like choose some healthy snacks. I'm going to show you some examples of recipes for healthy snacks, and we're going to talk about managing 3:30itis so that you're not sort of hitting that afternoon window and the snack attack just goes nuts. Because I find that we're like looking in our cupboards more lately, procrastinating by checking out what's in the fridge. So I'm going to run you through some healthy snacks and my healthy snack formula. Good morning, Dale Hardingham. All right, you're welcome, Henri. Yeah, don't do anything crazy, Henri. Just be normal. Okay, so the foundations of healthy eating, some label reading stuff so you can be like a BS detector, healthy snacking, and then I'm going to run you through how to eat your food mindfully. So making sure that you're getting maximum pleasure and taste out of the food that you are eating, rather than like guiltily eating chocolate or something and then feeling guilty for it later. We're going to actually eat chocolate and enjoy it. And then we talk about, I can't remember the order from here, but exercise and like the benefits of exercise and how to manage nutrition around exercise at the moment and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. There's a bonus module on sleep as well, and the benefits of sleep and how much you need and how to get better sleep, because sleep is so important for our immune system. So that's 6, and there's 2 more. What else is on there? I can't even remember my own course. Let me have a quick look. What am I missing? I don't know. Oh, alcohol. Yes, we're going to talk about alcohol, and having a bit of a balanced approach to alcohol rather than like an all or none. So not binge drinking and then not like cutting out alcohol altogether, because if that's doesn't fit with your lifestyle, then that's obviously not going to work. There's one more. What have I missed? Oh, the main one. I missed this one. Gut health and immunity. So we're going to talk about your immune system and where it comes from, and 80% of your immunity or your immune system lies within your gut. And then I'm going to help you with what types of foods you should be including more of at the moment, and foods to eat less of to really support our immune system, and make sure that all of our gut microbes are really happy. So that's one key thing you can be doing now to stay healthy. And then you should also continue it beyond this as well. Like these are some foundations of healthy eating that you should continue beyond the COVID-19 crisis. But now is a perfect time to learn about it while it's really pertinent. So that's one of the modules in the course as well. So they're the sorts of things, Henri, that you should be focusing on now. That's 8 things, rather than like my 3 top tips for getting shredded. Okay, that's kind of definitely not the focus for now. So Catherine said, now that I've finished talking to Henri, Catherine said earlier, I think it's a legitimate topic. Maybe we need to organise an evening with a dietitian with wine. I'll think about it. Less chance of that than like Art's request for cooking at 10 a.m. But I'll think about it. And definitely not for a while. All right, so if there's no more questions, guys, I finished my coffee and it's been almost an hour. I know we need to leave an hour for these things, but yeah, any more questions, give me a holler. Otherwise, I'll put some links in here for you for the Stay Healthy during isolation course. Keep an eye on the socials over the next few days, because I'll post up what the schedule is for next week, and then jump on with me at 10:30 every day and go live, and we can have some fun. And just to give you some top tips for right now, give you a bit of a computer break, or actually you'll probably be on a computer while you're watching this, but give you a bit of a brain break from work, have a bit of banter, some social interaction, and have a bit of fun. So I look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to do, first one will be Monday, 10:30. And we're going to go through my top tips for staying healthy during ISO. Catherine said Facebook is so glitchy today. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of people on at the moment, so that could be why. Catherine is now on Instagram. It's like, I don't know, it's hilarious. You're hilarious, Catherine. Art said, thank you, muffins. Yep, so everyone jump on the link to the free recipes, get the recipes for savoury muffins, get the ingredients and we can make them together. How cool would that be? So we can have people all around the world making savoury muffins. It'd be unreal. It'd be so cool. If you had a coffee with me today and took a photo, please post it on the socials so that I can see it. It's amazing when I see that. Yeah, it's just so cool. Henri said, yay, love it. You're welcome, Henri. And Steph said, thanks, Taryn. You're welcome, Steph. Good to talk to you, Steph. I feel weird talking to you guys. Like, it's just my face. It's my mug on this thing. I wish we could do like a big Zoom, like coffee and questions. That'd be pretty cool. So you could actually talk. I could see your faces. Because you watch this video back and to me it looks really weird because it looks like I'm having a conversation with myself. But in the moment, it doesn't feel so weird. All right, guys, have a good Friday. Have a good Anzac Day tomorrow. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you next week on live at 10:30 Monday. Woo! See you later.